What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Wanna Go Fishing. You know, there's a few things in my life that bring me real enjoyment. You know, it could be simple. It could be simple things like bringing back an old vehicle from the dead.
Ow! If I could only get...
Or taking a really long ride on the old Honda Monkey.
This is absolutely awesome! Woo!
But you know, there's one thing that stands out above the rest. And that is when I come across one of these in good, almost working, functioning order. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Johnson Century 100B. That's right, Model 100B. Not to be confused with the Model 100, its predecessor. Also a very cool reel. What we're going to look at today is the 100B. And why are we going to look at the 100B? We're going to look at it because I got lucky enough to have a really good friend that actually had one. He came by the house the other day and was taking a look at the old Wanna Go Fishing headquarters, and he looked around at the rods and reels I had there, and one of them that he noticed was one that we had done an episode on, which was this guy here, the Johnson Century Model 100 on a fly rod. Well, as soon as he saw that reel, he said, "Hey, that's cool, I have one of those." Now, he had no idea that what he said at that particular moment made my heart stop. Yes, it did. Made my heart stop. And I had to say, "Okay, you got one of those, do you? What are you doing with it?" He said, "Well, nothing. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think I still have it, though." I said, "I would like to have that, sir, if you wouldn't mind." He said, "Okay." And this morning I got it from him, and there it is. And it seems to be in good working order. The cool thing about it is that we're going to kind of compare the two. This one obviously needs a good cleaning. She's been sitting for a very long time, but it all seems to be working. All seems to be functioning. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this thing apart and we are going to clean it up, and we are going to get it functioning, and we're going to get it on a rod of some kind. I think I have one over here. It's a rod that I normally use for a lot of my review stuff. It is an old Berkley Cherrywood single-handed whoof kind of thing. That's right, that is exactly what I think it says on the rod, is whoof kind of thing. It may say that. I'm pretty sure that it does. It doesn't say that, but it's kind of how you feel when you cast it. Whoof. It's kind of almost a kind of feeling like, I'm sure glad that actually casted. Didn't break in two and half of it go flying in the water. So anyway, we're going to get the Century Model 100B cleaned up. And this weekend, I'm going to take that fly rod that you just saw with the Model 100, and we're going to take that Berkley Cherrywood with the single action whoof rod, and we're going to take those two reels out and see, did its predecessor, you know, have a little bit more personality and work a little bit easier, maybe? Or the Johnson Century Model 100B, is it the downfall of the Johnson Century? The Johnson series line? Who knows? Let's find out. What do you say? Let's get to cleaning this thing up, see what it needs, which obviously is going to be a lot. The first thing is disassembling this thing and seeing what it has to show. the assembly station.
So here we are, back at the table of contents. Why are we so quickly back at the table of contents, you might say? Well, let me say, I'll tell you this right now. Here it is, the completed, put together, on a rod, Johnson Century 100B. And you may say to yourself, but Willie, I wanted to see that get put together. And I may say to you, well, subscriber, I would have loved to have showed you that. Because I did put it together on camera. But 4 minutes and 58 seconds in, my GoPro froze. So it makes me want to say one other thing. GoPro. I wish I could find something to replace you with that I could afford. But anyway, you would have seen it put together. I put it together. Was even talking to myself. Sitting right there talking to myself, putting it together, showing you putting the grease, the oil, the whole 9 yards. Talking to myself, just talking away like a crazy person. 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Anyway, it's together. It's on the rod that I was telling you about, the Berkeley cherry rod that has the oomph. And I'm going to put some line on this, and I'm still kind of at odds as to what size I'm going to put on it. I might not put anything heavier than 4 or 6. Well, I'm definitely not going any higher than 6. And get her ready. Get her set up. And this weekend, I think, you know what? It might be time for a camping trip. Here we are, people. Going to test the waters. Let's get this around so you can see it. I got this thing working like a charm here. Let's just hope that it keeps working like a charm. It took me another reel, luckily an older citation, to make this one work, but it got it working anyway. So, we got one. There you go. That was almost a trip to the hospital right there. Or I'd have been operating on myself. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, now just for fun, we're going to try the other one, the actual Model 100, the original. See if we can tell the difference really, because that one operates really well. And there you go. I changed up colors. I went with a darker color, Smoke and Sparkle, a crappie max. And there you go. This is fun. If you've never done this, you really need to try it. I know they might seem old and outdated and all that, you know, paperweight or something like that, but when they're cleaned up and they're working properly, they really work quite well. This one, it casts a long way. It really does. One of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to go back into it again, because it started reeling a little bit hard, and I see why. I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you look in there? What happens is, the way that these reels function, all of that funk that's on that water comes right up that line the fishing line itself, and goes right inside the reel. So it gets it a little bit chalked up inside. So, what are we up to at the moment? Well, had to let the GoPro cool off. Then once it shut down, I had to cool off. Because I was really close to seeing just how far I could skip this thing across the lake. So far, the Century 100B is doing okay. I really need to clean out the inside internally because a lot of the lake funk that settles on the top of the lake is going up the line into the reel, causing it to be a little bit of an issue. Which I know you don't get those problems with spinning reels, okay? Or, you know, even bait casters, things like that. These enclosed reels, like, you know, the thumb-driven type things, the casting reels, Zebco's, Abu Garcia, the Johnsons, you know, they do have their faults. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're for everybody. They're not. But to me, what I enjoy is taking that old thing that's been sitting in a drawer for the last 35 years, cleaning it up, fixing it up, making it work, and putting it back out here, doing what it was meant to do. And that's what it's been doing. So now that this thing is still kind of working, I'm going to cut it off and let it cool down again. And we're going to go to a different part of the lake, different pond, and see if we can catch a couple other fish. I still got 2 more days.
All right, it's that time. It is 7:45. It's actually still quiet time here at the park, old campground, but what I noticed was nobody was paying any attention to that. I got up, said, you know what? We're going to put the old Johnson Century back out on here again. Look at a good view of that thing. Because I've been having a heck of a time with the GoPro. It is overheating within about 4 or 5 minutes of being out here running. So we're going to be speed fishing right now. I caught a lot of fish with this last night messing around, but had no GoPro. It's really, really frustrating. Here we go. First cast of the morning. It goes out there just perfectly. I've got a color on here I've never used, and well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, that's a good fish. He ain't coming up. Oh, I love this. First cast of the morning. First fish of the morning. What do we got? Oh, nice little bluegill covered in grass. Yeah, you're covered in grass. It's one of those grass gills. There we go. Beautiful little fish, man. He liked that purple and gold. All right, we're going to be speed fishing today. Goodbye, Mr. Gill. Yes, this is a purple and gold. This is actually by Bass Pro Shops. Little crappie grubs that they carry. Crappie Max, I think is what they call it. Oh, that was a hit right there. That's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit. Oh, gotta get him, gotta get him. No, I don't think I got him. Dang it. There we go, there we go. There we go. There we go. That acts like a bluegill. But it ain't. That's a crappie. God, he was zigzagging like a bluegill. Of course, you know, he's got the, fish, grass coverage, mouthful of grass. There you go. Catching fish after all those years. Sorry about that belly flop. Oh, I didn't miss him though. He's a swimmer. Another nice big crappie this morning. Old Johnson Century's getting his drag worked out this morning. That's a good fish right there. I'm loving this thing. It is so much fun using these things. There we go. There we go. A little red ear. red ear didn't have no trouble getting that bait in his mouth. I don't know what it is. Why these fish want to mess with me. It is like right at 90 degrees right now, and the GoPro is absolutely giving me a fit. It's lasting for about 3 to 5 minutes before it gets too hot to use. We're going to go back to the camper. We're going to make about 17 sandwiches, have a bowl of ice cream, maybe watch a movie, get on the golf cart, go for a ride around the place for a while, and I'm going to relax after I kill this mayfly. Okay. Anyway, he's now on the camera. I can't smack the camera. I'd like to smack the camera. I've come close to doing it a couple of times. All right, everybody, we are back here at the camper, and we're going to do something real fast. The first thing I would like to say is I'd like to say thank you to my buddy Buba at work. Good friend of mine. I've known him for about 30 years. Thank you for keeping old junk around your house. And I mean that, because I had a really good time with this reel. And when I first started this video, it was going to be kind of a comparison, old and newer. They're both old as dirt, but the Model 100 was the original, and then you had your 100B. I thought I was going to be more drawn to the 100 because it does function well and it does cast good. It's just a cool, fun, and the way I've got it on the fly rod, I'll show you right here. Which y'all have seen this a million times. If the camper ain't big enough for a fishing reel in it, fishing rod, this guy here with the fly rod, that works really well. Okay, it does. And people laugh. I've had people at watching me fish out here. I'm casting this thing one-handed. One man said, "Man, you're just out here making us look effortless, like you're not doing anything." I handed it to him and I said, "Well, you try it." And he was scared to death to try it. He thought he was going to break it, but he tried it and he was amazed. He just said, "I cannot believe how easy this is to cast and reel," and he's now looking for this same setup. And that's not why I do it, but I do like to bring things to people's attention, because a lot of times we are faced with the dilemma of what's in front of us, and that's all we see. What's behind us is long since gone and past, and we don't think about it anymore. And I do. I think about those old things and what got me to where I am, which is why I have these. So, do I like I'm hitting everything in the camper with this thing. Do I like the 100B better than the 100? Or do I like the 100 better than the 1? Well, there's two different things going on here. Functionality, definitely the 100 to me is more universal, can be used different ways. You can actually do what I did with the fly rod with the 100 on this with the 100B. That's confusing, I know. You can flip it around and change all that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know, I haven't seen the video, any of the footage yet from what we've done, and maybe by the time this comes out I will have seen it. If you could see how easy that casting, that single-handed thing, it just amazed me how easy that was. I see people do it with bait casters, and they make it look easy, but this was really simple to me, and it went a really long way. The downfall probably was the rod, but it is a good old rod. I've had it around forever, but I'm going to look about a different one, something a little more newer, not as whippy for this reel, because I'm going to keep this reel on just like I do the other two. I'm going to keep it out there, keep it going. So what's better than, well, there is no better. It's circumstance. What are you going to use it for? What are you going to use it as? The 100 on the fly rod is going to stay that way. I love that. It works great. I can use it on this fly rod. I can use it on the Maxon Versa rod that I got. A buddy of mine sent to me also. John Morris, you the man. I'll use the other one on there, but for the 100B, it's going to stay as a thumb cast. It just works too well to make it do anything different, and it does work well. Will it get used every time? No, it won't go out every time I go fishing, but for the vintage times that I want to go out and use something old, yes, that'll work. The Abumatic will go out with me. Those kind of things will go with me. But all in all, everything said, I had a good time fishing. I had a great time catching the fish. Had a terrible time with the GoPro. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This was fun. I'm always looking for these things. The next one is a citation. I'm looking for Johnson citation. I want to find one of those in good shape because it's the bigger version of the Century. I want to find one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This was great. See you next time.